All right, hello, everybody. Conservative Brother Daily here, back with another daily reaction. And I just got to yell out the name of William Wallace and Braveheart Freedom. It is done, it is finished. It's my official reaction to the 2024 election results. And we have it right here for our beautiful eyes to feast upon. So yeah, it's a lot we need to talk about. You know, what a historic time to be alive. It is done. It is finished. So yeah, I guess these are just my initial reactions. As of this recording, it's about 5 days out. Saturday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 days out. Obviously, Trump's going to be the newly elected 47th president. So I'll just kind of at least give my initial reaction to it because kind of going in, I mean, if you bought a lot of what the mainstream media was saying, they really thought somehow they thought they had this in the bag. There's definitely was a lot of cases being reported as far as things they're doing in certain poll centers. A lot of these ballots and these drop boxes coming in after 11 into these centers. Luckily, you had people on the ground. Trump campaign was on it. James O'Keefe, formerly Project Veritas, he had his OMG company, O'Keefe Media Group. Citizen journalists all over undercover at these polling centers. Steve Crowder as well. On top of that, so I think one thing to contribute really to this victory was just kind of the underestimation, where once again the Democrats continue to just gaslight, demonize the other side. They can't even address all the damage they've done. They have nothing to run on but abortion and Trump's Hitler. Trump's this person. So I'm gonna do a deep dive. Actually, I'm gonna do a whole Black Girl Tragic. Those guys that follow, I did these Black Girl Tragic video series. So I'm gonna do a part 5 in a few days on Kamala Harris. Black Girl Tragic, what Kamala did wrong. Black Girl Tragic Part 5, what Kamala did wrong. So I'm going to do that whole video, more deep dive on her campaign. We've already destroyed Kamala's, exposed her whole career, her whole corruption. So I think that video I'm just going to dedicate specifically to what her campaign did wrong from the start of pushing Joe Biden in and putting her out front, because we already did everything. Hold on a second. Yeah, so just look out for that one. It'll be Black Girl Tragic Part 5, what Kamala did wrong. So, as far as what the Trump campaign did right, I mean, I think a lot of it was early on. Trump was just saying, like, they did the promotion of swamp the vote, swamp the vote. I know Andy Frisella, shout out to him and DJ over at the Real AF podcast. They were talking about for months, year leading up, like, you guys have to go out and vote. You have to go out and vote. Nothing against the people who decide to vote abstain or they want to vote third party, Cornel West. I still respect anybody who ends up casting their vote. But one thing I can't get behind are these doom and gloom black pill people who are just like, the vote doesn't matter. I never vote. You shouldn't vote either. Those are the people that I'm glad that a lot of people did not listen to. I don't mind if you vote third party. You don't vote for Trump. You don't vote for Harris. But I'm glad. I think we had a show out like nothing before, and a lot of people didn't fall for our vote doesn't matter. It's always rigged. So they showed out. I want to give a shout out to also Scott Pressler out in Pennsylvania, early vote action. This guy was a monster going out there, getting pretty much the highest, I think, recorded Republican registration there was. He called out the hunters who once again sat out. A lot of them, like 30-40%, sat out in 2020. So he really reached out. I mean, he reached out to everybody, but he really called out, went after the hunters. And then he also, Pennsylvania had record Trump votes, or just voting in general, for the Amish community. Amish community are pretty much aligned with the Christian religion. So he did a great job hammering, going after the Amish community as well as the hunters. So I think that was really contributed to the Pennsylvania going red. Michigan, I still can't explain how Michigan went red. Obviously, you got Macomb County, Oakland County, the upper Michigan, northern Michigan. Um, and Wayne County alone couldn't hold it. Wayne County couldn't hold the line as far as keeping Michigan blue. in that instance. I think another great thing, Trump campaign did a great job of just bringing back the nostalgia of the 2016. I think he brought in the guy Corey, I forgot his last name, who was his first Trump campaign manager. The fact that he was getting better at keeping people around him, selecting better people, and then also just the optics of just brilliant PR marketing from the McDonald's. I think the McDonald's was a nice touch. Obviously, that struck a chord with a lot of people. Being of the people, where you see these elites who want to stay only around elites or people who think like them. They long disdained and really held their nose up to normal working class people of all races. This is why you get Biden not visiting East Palestine, Ohio, train derailment town till a year later. You see Lahaina wildfires in Hawaii and them just having them apply for $750. And then with the Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. So you just see, and then their corruption with FEMA. They give all the money to the legal migrants and then they got nothing left over for FEMA to give for, American born citizens have to apply for $750 while you're giving these illegal migrants hand over fist thousands of dollars. And you think people wouldn't notice that? You think people wouldn't rebel against that and take those feelings with them to the ballot box? And then also, there's a lot of more ongoing corruption. Even FEMA, they've been caught skipping over Trump supporters' houses. They got a Trump supporter sign. There's actually memos and directives that came out telling them to skip Trump's houses with Trump supporters signs in them. Mike Adams over at the Health Ranger Report, he does a podcast on Brighteon, Mike Adams of the Natural News. So he did a great video, actually came out today, Saturday the 9th of 2024, where he does a deep dive on that FEMA corruption. So these are just all different little things, along with swamping the vote, along with us being like, we're not going to do 2020 again. The level of corruption, the level of cheating, the whole 3, 4 a.m. Trump's ahead, and we wake up in the morning, 18 million votes come out of nowhere, and Biden is the winner. Like, we're not playing that shit again. So I just want to commend everybody, however they did, whether you were a poll watcher, whether you were handing out literature, whether you went to go out and vote, whether you're a content creator making the great content to wake up people. I think everybody did their own part in their own lane to really make this a victory. So I will say, though, I am going to that's the good. I'm going to get to the bad. We have to realize that, once again, the Democrats are going to still do everything they can to prevent Donald Trump's reelection. Well, they can't prevent the reelection. They can prevent his inauguration. So when Kamala came out and did the whole concession speech, I think, oh, we're committed to peaceful transition of power. I've called Donald Trump. Well, yeah, 3-4 days ago you called him a fascist and all this other stuff, and it's kind of like the same thing when the Trump assassination attempts happen, and they do the whole right on script. They all post and say, "I've reached out to Trump and glad he's in my prayers that they're safe." There's no place for political violence. 3-4 days ago, y'all calling Trump Hitler. He has to be stopped. He's a danger. He's going to kill people. And then 3-4 days after the Trump assassination, they're right back to the same thing. So they know their base just watches CNN and MSNBC all day. They get fed these sound bites. They get fed just enough propaganda to stay pissed off. They don't get any of the context. So they know they can act that way, then memory hole a few days later and get back to Trump's Hitler. Oh, he's going to come in, Project 2025. So we just have to be prepared. We just have to know they're just going to, there's a small little honeymoon phase they're doing right now to act like they're fair sports. Oh, we're reasonable. We're going to peaceful transition power, but this is what's going to happen. There's, I might do a separate video on this, but I'm just at least give my thoughts at least now in case I forget to do one later. But there's still 2 cards that Democrats have left to play. Once again, Trump is the presumptive, he is going to be the 47th president, but that's not going to stop them from either. There's a very interesting video. Gerald Ford, back 35 years ago, Jimmy Dore recently did a video on this where Gerald Ford predicted that the first female vice president, he said this back like in the early 80s, that the first female vice president first female president is going to be the running mate of an old male president become the vice president, and then while in office, the male president is going to die, and then the female vice president will be installed as the first president. Gerald Ford, all those presidents, they all been part of Skulls and Bones and the Bohemian Grove. They're in all these societies that pre-select groom candidates decades out. Okay, so I think that was at least in the cards as far as how they'll bring in, the leftist world order, basically to install their level of globalism under the veil of, socialism and progressive rights, but it's really their own ushering in of globalism. So I think a while ago, decades ago, they already decided it would be a female president that would be that puppet, that Manchurian candidate to usher in, to use that feminist identity politics to usher in their global agenda. They just didn't know who it would be. And then Kamala Harris over the last 10, 20 years, then through fate, she ended up being the one. So I think that's what's going to happen. There's going to be two things that the Trump campaign and we all got to look out for. There's two plays that the Democrats have left, only two. A, they're either going to, I don't, and I'm trying to think which one would give less. I guess whichever one would be less. I'd say the first one that would be. I think they're both going to cause complete chaos, and people are going to be that could never happen. Even though these are the same people that thought COVID can never come to China, they'll never shut the country down for COVID. They'll never force you to take a vaccine. They'll never. So those people always say this will never happen, then it happens, then they pretend like you weren't the one telling them this. So I think the two plays left is that they're either going to kill Joe Biden, snuff him out in two different ways, because they can't wait till inauguration day and just hand Trump over the keys to the White House. They're either going to they're going to suddenly unalive Biden. Maybe they'll do a poisoning. They'll do something to cause a heart attack, and he just dies flat out. So they either go that route of him dying just flat out, or it may be a progressive, like, oh, Biden took a bad slip and fall, or oh no, he's going in for another routine procedure on his heart, and then things go wrong in the hospital, things escalate, he gets hospitalized, and things take a turn for the worse, and hanging by the thread, and there's like a prayer vigil. There's like a candlelight vigil outside the hospital Biden's in because he's like in a coma. So, and then finally he dies. So I think they're going to do it two ways. I don't know which one may work better, be the best optics. They're either going to snuff him out right away suddenly. Oh, he just had a bad heart. Or they're going to do a slow burn to kind of prepare people for this. And then between now and inauguration day, Kamala Harris is just installed as the president because Biden croaked. Whether they snuff him out slow or they do it suddenly. So that's the first card they have left to play. And then honestly, the next card they have left to play is, and they're still doing this now. They're putting out this predictive programming. FBI just thwarted the Iran assassination attempt on Trump. So in a weird way, it's like the FBI that continues to have years and decades of corruption that's behind the sort of sting instigation of conservative supporters, Trump supporters with J6, all these false flags, uh, their roles in MLK, Fred Hampton, Malcolm X's death, and then the role that they continue to do to come after Trump and weaponize their power against conservatives. All of a sudden, oh, they're the good guys. They thwarted an Iran assassination attempt. Iran is nothing more than the scapegoat. I know Iran. There are people. There are people. I know Hamas has feelings about in Iran. There are people in Iran that do want Trump dead. I do believe, but I feel like they're either being co-opted or they're working in tandem with the FBI, the current Biden DOJ deep state, and the FBI and Biden DOJ, they want Trump just as dead as Iran is, if not more. So this whole FBI just thwarted and we're the good guys. We're trying to protect the next president. Like, no, you guys want him dead too, and all you guys have been doing is finding ways to get rid of Trump, weaponize jail him, and kill him. So the second card I predict is once again, if they don't snuff out Biden slow or fast and just put Kamala in there before the election, they are going to find a way, whether they drone strike Mar-a-Lago or they find some way to kill him, take him out, maybe take out a few other dissident people in his administration or just Trump himself. They're going to just try and kill him and say it's Iran. Iran did this. And what that's going to do, not for all of them, but a lot of these Trump supporters, they're going to get radicalized into like being warmongers again. They're going to be like, yeah, they're going to push media like, Iran killed your president, killed your leader. Let's go get him. And the globalists, the establishment Republicans and Democrats are going to get the war they want. They've wanted war with Iran for a long time. So they're going to get their war, and they're going to get a lot of the Trump supporters. I'm not saying all, but a lot of the MAGA base is going to become these radicalized warmongers because they think Iran killed their president, killed their leader. So that's my prediction. So once again, I'm happy. Obviously, we got the job done, but after what the Democrats did in 2020, the level of tyranny they've done since they've been in power the past 4 years, we can't just assume they roll over just like Harris's concession speech and just go, oh, okay, yeah, we're dedicated to peaceful transition of power. They're getting that on video for the history books, but on video is not going to be all the behind the scenes stuff they're doing. And then when they start doing this foolery, the media is going to cover for them. Oh, that's not happening. So, and then, the whole Jamie Raskin, I think that's still in play. Even though we have a majority Senate, Jamie Raskin's on video saying, yeah, we're not going to certify him. Even if he wins, we're going to unlink the 14th Amendment and say, because he led an insurrection, which he didn't, that's going to not qualify him for president. So they're just going to try all that. I think the Jamie Raskin one's probably the weakest of the scenarios. It's already been proven with Supreme Court and court filings coming out that it wasn't an insurrection. He wasn't doing this for that. So I think Jamie Raskin will be the first plan A. That gets shot down. All right, let's try and take out Biden. And then finally, let's just try and kill Trump and say Iran killed your leader. So all this is still on the table, calling it out now. Andy Purcell over at Real AF does a great job at breaking this down too. But for now, once again, it's all about the Trump transition team. It's great to see the likes of RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, a lot of these former Democrats, Elon Musk, all working with him to make this happen. I just have to point out the uncomfortable part where, once again, these scenarios I mentioned, getting rid of Biden, trying to install Harris, as the president, killing Trump, blaming Iran. Those are all serious scenarios we do have to mentally prepare for when it happens, so we're not thrown off guard. Have to be prepared for something like that to happen. Once again, I'm still happy, and a lot of people celebrating, but we have to be vigilant and aware that that's still something. They're not just going to roll over. They're not rolling over after this. They're playing nice for the cameras, but trust me, they're behind the scenes. They got their Black Boule emergency meetings. I think even the city of Detroit City Council had an emergency meeting the night they called it for Trump. Mayor Mike Duggan and all Black Detroit City Council in a democratically ran city, a democratically majority city. So there's a lot of plotting in the works. Let's not keep our guard down, and hopefully we win the House too. So House race is getting close. Let me look this up real quick. So they're probably trying to fudge a little numbers. It's looking good, but you never know what shenanigans they're going to pull. This has gone way too long. There's some shenanigans going on. I predict maybe the GOP will get the 218 maybe like Monday, Tuesday, but there's no way this should be going this long. So we'll see what happens. And all right, y'all. So once again, just reporting on the Trump 2024 election victory, historic. But we still have to keep in mind that the Democrats aren't done playing the games. We'll still celebrate, but on Monday we got to get back to work. So I'll talk to you guys later. Next video is going to be Black Girl Tragic, Part 5, What Kamala Did Wrong. So I'll be dropping that in a few days. Feel free to like, subscribe, share Conservative Brother Daily on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. And also too, I also want to shout out the Freedman Collective, Detroit. I recently was on their election night coverage, so I had a fun time over there with them. friends of the show, the Freedman Collective Detroit. Make sure to give them a follow. And then our new episode of Uncomfy Truths drops tomorrow, Sunday, November 10th. So Sunday, November 10th, we're going to start around 8 o'clock Eastern. So this will be our first post-election show with myself and Conspiracy Brother. So a lot going on. And then we're going to be going back to a show every 2 weeks. I can't be doing all these shows all the time for free, back to back. It's good content, but election night, that was a 6-hour show I did with the Freedman Collective. I'm doing my initial thoughts on this video now. And like I mentioned, Sunday the 10th, we will be back on Comfy Truths for episode 34. And just doing more of our reaction to the initial election results. So I will talk to you guys next time. Stay awake, not woke. See ya.